We've got the red dragon from Epic Encounters produced by Steamforged Games. We're going to start off airbrushing with Vallejo black primer, covering everything. We cover the treasure too, because I'm going to use Vallejo's shifter paints, gold, yellow, burnt orange, to paint over it. Also hitting the undersides of the dragon. In my mind, the treasure hoard is shiny, so it should reflect upwards when light hits the treasure pile. Once that's done, I put down some putty to help keep the paint job protected on the treasure for the next airbrush color. Using Vallejo's Monocolor Field Blue, going to give it a gray tone for zenithal highlighting, hitting it roughly at a 30-degree angle to create wide coverage to keep the areas that need to be in shadows in shadow. To top off my zenithal highlight, I used a pale blue from Vallejo's Monocolor line. Now to get some color in. I used the FW ink line Crimson to just get some coverage. I went as thin as I could with short bursts, keeping the zenithal highlight underneath. Also did the underside with the crimson, kept it light so that the color shift paint could still shine through. With a light initial coat finished, I switched to FW Ink's Purple Lake, focusing on the underside of the wings on top, spraying under the wings, with the crimson ink, we go over every part of the dragon to help blend our layers. I switched to flame red FW ink to get a richer red, going slowly to keep the underlayers. With Fluorescent Orange FW ink, I started to focus on the high raised areas of the wings, the back, the tail, and the head, creating some mild highlights. I went back in with the Purple Lake to deepen the shadows and to create some variance. I had lost a lot of the golden color under the wings, so I went back in with the shifters gold yellow and burnt orange. With the flame red ink, I went under the wings one more time. I went in with Purple Lake to get it darker under the wings. A lot of airbrushing is just repeating colors so it blends well. I removed the putty, as you can see here. I didn't notice that the camera was off center, so I do apologize about the angles. Use Vallejo's Game Color Bloody Red to paint the insides of the mouth. Using Vallejo's Monocolor Black mixed with Vallejo's Monocolor Shadow, I applied it to the talons, the horns, and the claws. Off camera, I worked on the eyes, started with the black, then ivory, then yellow, before dotting it with a black micro pen. I applied bone white to the claws, wingtips, and horns. Can't forget the teeth. Once that was dried, I started to wet blend with black and Vallejo game color bone white on the horns, claws, wingtips, and spikes. Once dried, I airbrushed the red dragon with a gloss varnish to protect the acrylic paint before moving on to oil washes. Started with a dark red oil wash, mixing ivory black and red cadmium deep hue and mineral spirits. Just slopped it all on wherever there was red, getting into the recesses, avoiding the horns, spikes, claws. Let it dry for 10 minutes. Afterwards, with a makeup sponge and mineral spirits, we're going to tap along the high ridges and high points, generally areas where the light would naturally hit. Just gently push the wash around, get it into the recesses. It looks messy, and if you're not sure, you can let it dry before trying to remove more of the wash. I applied a black wash underneath the wings, also hitting the gold treasure. After drying with the makeup brush and mineral spirits, I removed the excess black oil wash. I applied a burnt umber wash on the claws, horns, and spikes. Once more, removing the excess oil wash with mineral spirits and a makeup sponge. Here you can see the completed red dragon in all of its glory. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, like, share, and subscribe.